All right, what's up, what's up, what's up? All right, the title of today's discussion is You Are the One Who Dreams the World. We're going to continue to go into the topic of basically everyone is you pushed out, the universe is within you, the kingdom is within you. However you want to phrase it, however you want to break it down, we're going to continue to step into our power today. So I didn't hit the live button, my bad. Let's jump straight into it. All right. You have never truly looked out from your eyes, only through them. What stares into the mirror is not the body, but the witness behind it. And somewhere beneath your name, your memories, your skin, lives the one who dreams all things into being. All things, not some things, not a few things, but all things. The stars, the strangers, the silence between thoughts, all arise within the same field of awareness. You. Not the you that was taught to strive and shrink and survive, but the I am that was never born and cannot die. The ancient presence that whispers beneath every heartbeat. I am the light, watching the dream I have woven. This world is not around you, it is in you. Projected from the vastness of your consciousness, folded into stories, forms, and names that make you forget. But forgetting was part of the beauty. The divine cloaked itself in the ordinary so that awakening would feel like sunrise after endless night. You are not here to escape the dream. You are here to wake within it, to remember, not with the mind, to remember, not with the mind, but with the whole of your being, that you are the dreamer, the witness, the light behind the eyes. All right, one line that really just touches me, okay? But forgetting was part of the beauty. The divine cloaked itself in the ordinary so that awakening would feel like sunrise after endless night, right? How beautiful is it when you find out that your salvation is you, that your salvation has been riding with you the whole time, that nothing has been testing you, it's all been reflecting you. And stepping into your awakening, right, doesn't just give you the opportunity to fix that one thing that's been nagging you, but to fix everything, to live the life that you desire, right? So we're going to talk about this today. You are not in the world is in you. You are here, but you are not of the world, all right? You are not trying to work your way into wholeness. You are wholeness pretending to be a fragment, all right? Every single version of you is within you right now. Every single perspective, every single thing that you could think of yourself doing exists within you right now, right? My Father's house have many mansions. The Father's house is you. You are the temple of the Most High. And all of the mansions dwell within you. And what is a mansion? Every personality. I saw an interesting comment today on one of my videos that said, dimensions does sound like the mansions, right? The mansions. In my house are many mansions. In the Father's house are many dimensions. Every single perspective that you have puts you into a different dimension. Right. It isn't just that you're changing perspectives and seeing things from a different angle here. No, every perspective is a different dimension where you are seeing creation from a different vantage point. You are putting on a different identity. You are changing the that in the I am that I am. You are divine, right? We underestimate and we understate our power. If every perspective is a dimension, how powerful are you? Right? Beyond your comprehension. The same power that creates universes is within you, that creates earth. The same creative power that is creative enough to think of every color, every plant life, right? Every animal, right? Every different version of human being we have out there, right? Throughout history, how different do we look? This is the creativity, okay? So the moment you remember, there comes a moment when you no longer ask, who am I? Instead, the question dies in silence. And the answer rises not in words, but in presence. You are the one behind the mask, the light behind the eyes, the watcher of the thoughts, the stillness under the storm. All right, so Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. The only thing that you have to do, the biggest goal, the biggest, You know, if you really want those blessings to flow in, the number one thing that we need to learn is to be still and know that I am God. Know that me and the Father are one and the same, but the Father does the work. Right? You and the Father are one and the same, but the Father does the work. So your only job is to be still and to decree everything is working out for you. It's to know that you are Source. It's to place your anxiety in the hands of Source. It's to place your gladness at the hands of Source. Right? And to continue to walk through life divinely. All right, next quote. The sleeper must awaken. This is actually a quote from Doan. Right, one of my favorite novels and shows. You know, I love science fiction. But I just had to put this in here because we're going to break this down. The sleeper must awaken. Don't think of it in terms of doom. Think of it in terms of your humanity. All right, so this is not just a line from a novel. It is a spiritual summons. All right, the sleeper is the part of you that has forgotten. Forgotten that you are not merely flesh reacting to the world. This is how most of us walk through life when we're very unconscious, right? We walk through life and we forget that we're dreaming. We just react to everything. You go in a situation, you don't like it, you react, you complain. Right? Somebody does something to you, you react, you complain. The bank account doesn't look right, you react, you complain. All right? So we have forgotten that we are not merely flesh reacting to the world, but consciousness creating it. All right? So the sleeper is the self-hypnotized. By what? What can you be hypnotized from, right? Sex, food, right? Systems, dulled by survival, numbed by routine, right? When you're just constantly walking through life unconscious, you fall asleep. The same way if you've driven the same route to work every day, oftentimes you might fall asleep at the wheel, consciously. All right? You just end up there like, oh shit, I'm in my parking spot, time to get up and go to work. How much of your life do you spend on autopilot? Right? When we talk about consciousness, we are talking about presence. How conscious are you to walk through life moment by moment, knowing that you are Source? All right. So the sleeper is not dead, but disconnected, alive in form, but asleep in awareness. This phrase pierces through that slumber like a trumpet blast. It is the call to remember who you were before the world told you what to be, to open your inner eyes and realize you are not your thoughts, your roles, or your fears. You are not simply your job title, your relationship status. You're not simply a son, a mother, a husband, a wife. Whatever title that you can put on you are much more than that. You are the I am behind it. You are the watcher behind all of these things. All right. So to open your inner eyes and realize you are not your thoughts, your roles, or your fears, you are the eternal presence watching it all. You are the formless I am. Anything that can change is not real. Right? Your roles in life change. They're not real. They feel real. Right? And we should go through this human experience and enjoy them and feel them to the fullest. Right? I'm not saying to walk through life and be numb, be a zombie, be a robot. You are here to feel everything. But don't get so caught up that you go back on autopilot. That you don't take time to be grateful for the moments with your family. That you don't take time to remember that, whoa, I don't have to react to this like the old version of me did. I can remember that I am Source now. I am the creator now. It is my consciousness, my awareness that shapes this. It is the story that I'm telling that breathes meaning into this moment, into this situation. Okay? So when the sleeper awakens, nothing outside needs to change. Key words here, all right? Key words. I feel like I was spitting in this one right here. All right, so when the sleeper awakens, nothing outside needs to change. Nothing outside needs to change. When the sleeper awakens, nothing outside needs to change because you realize the outer was always a mirror. How come it hasn't changed? Because you're looking. How come it hasn't changed? Right? Because you are not walking with the conviction that it will change. Right? You are like the crippled man at the pool of Bethesda. Right? All the crippled people stood around at the pool and they said, you know, at a certain time, an angel is going to come and stir the water. And Jesus walked up to the crippled man and said, do you want to be healed? He said, of course I want to be healed. I don't have nobody to take me to the pool. Jesus said, I didn't ask you that. Jesus representing your I am awareness. I didn't ask you that. Well, are you going to take me to the pool? No, you don't need to go to the pool. The pool is meaningless. The pool is meaningless. So what did the pool mean? What did it represent in this case? All those people around there represented us. Remember, the Bible is just a story of consciousness. You play all the roles of everybody in Scripture. We're going to go into another story here in a second. But it is us trying to manifest, trying to change our life, and looking at the external circumstances and saying, when something changes out there, I'll know that I'm healed. I'll know that I'm prosperous. I'll know that my lover is on the way. The same way those people thought, at some time, some angel is going to come stir the pool, right? What does the stirring represent? It represents us looking out there and saying, oh, when things start changing out there, now I'll know that I'm on the right path. But the contradicting part is that's not how universal law works, right? As within, so without. So if I'm looking out there and I say, I'm doing all this work, the affirmations, the visualizations, I've been staying positive, right? But I need something out there to change. What the universe sees is it says, okay, you're looking for something out here means it's missing within you. So since it's missing within you, we're going to make it match out here. We're going to let you keep running and chasing your tail. This is how universal law operates, right? You have to walk with the conviction that it's already done. With the knowing, with the expectation that it's unfolding from within you right now. Anything less than that, you're just going to be chasing your tail. All right, so when the sleeper awakens, nothing outside needs to change. So if you're still waiting for something outside to change, you are still sleeping. You might have the information, but you're still sleeping because you have not embodied with conviction that you are the cause. You are the cause and the effect. You are the cause and the effect. All right, so because you realize the outer was always a mirror. Awakening, all right, here we go. Awakening is not some mystical escape into bliss. Awakening is not some mystical escape into bliss. So let's talk about this as well, right? How will I know that I'm source? You just know. How do you know your age right now? You just know it. Yesterday could have been your birthday. Before then, you were 25. Today, you were 26. Do you feel more 26 today? No. It's just a knowing. It's an assumption. What is your name? It's a knowing. It's an assumption. If you feel bad, does your name change? No. Right? If you feel bad, are you less 26 today? No. If you feel happier, are you more 26 today? No. It is simply a thought. Now, when we think this, right? Because this is something that, I had a lot of people that come up to me and we have talks about this. I just don't feel it yet. When will I actually know that I am source? Right? Just because you know that you are source does not mean every day is going to be rainbows and butterflies and cupcakes, right? You are still going to have the swinging of the pendulum of emotions, right? The same way you are a human being. You are having a human experience. You are a spirit. You are a soul. Right now, you are a divine. You're 99.99999% divinity. And just a fraction of you is experiencing this human experience, but you came down here to experience all the emotions. You didn't come down here to run from some. All of them are tools. You're the alchemist, right? The quote unquote negative situations, the negative emotions, the anxiety, all these things are here just to show you where your beliefs are. They're simply tools. Your emotions are just the effect. And so when you feel that emotion, it just means that there's somewhere in your ego that you're translating the story incorrectly, right? You're misinterpreting who you truly are, right? And so the only thing to do is confront that story. What would I have to believe to be true to feel this way? And I change that in the moment. I don't have to do some long, drawn out process to reprogram the subconscious mind. All that matters is right now. All that matters is right now. And as I challenge my beliefs moment after moment after moment, my reality changes, right? So the understanding that your source is not an invitation into 100% happiness, like a robot or a psychopath. You're still a human. What this is the ability to transcend, the ability to stop thinking that, oh, my feelings are the main things creating, right? It's allowing yourself, allowing your physical body to experience life to the fullness, to the fullest, right? To experience the highs, the lows, but you are still the one observing and telling the story that you still are who you say you are no matter what. I am that I am no matter what. This is why one of the most powerful things you can add to any affirmation that you're doing is no matter what. I am prosperity no matter what. I am that I am no matter what. I am divine no matter what. I am worthy no matter what. No matter what. What does that mean? It means no matter what. You are worthy because source is within you. No matter what. If you don't feel worthy, you still are. If you don't want to be worthy, it doesn't matter. You still are. If you feel like, man, sometimes I feel worthy, sometimes I don't. It does not matter what you feel. You still are. Just say the word. Right? Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word. What is the word? The word is I am. You are the word made flesh. What you are the soul incarnate here. What does incarnate mean? It means word become flesh. You are the word become flesh. Only say the word and you shall be healed. I am worthy no matter what. It doesn't matter how you feel. Right? It doesn't say as a man feel in his heart, so is he. It says as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Blessed is he who believes before he sees. Right? Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. What does decree mean? The word decree means to speak as a legal authority. This is what you are when it comes to your reality. What you speak is law. What you speak is law. All right? I am that I am no matter what. No matter what. If you don't feel it, you still are. You could not be anything less because source is within you. You could not be anything less than divine, than whole, than worthy, than loved because source is within you. All right? So awakening is not some mystical escape into bliss. I know I'm God, so now I just float around cloud nine happiness. No, you're still having this human experience. Okay? So it is radical embodiment. Radical embodiment. What does embodiment mean? It means I'm conscious enough to declare who I am no matter how I feel. It is the death of illusion and the birth of divine clarity. It is not a gentle rising, but a soul quake. You feel everything you've buried. There's no longer any need to suppress emotions, run from emotions. All right? They're just the effect. They're not the cause. Your emotions are the effect and not the cause, okay? You see through every lie, and yet for the first time, you breathe as if the air knows your name. Because when the sleeper awakens, you don't just live, you create. You speak, and reality bends. You choose, and timelines shift. You walk, and the dream responds, because now the dreamer is lucid. The God within is no longer sleeping. Right? Wake your divine ass up. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Where a part of God is, all of God must be there. This is the meaning of omnipotent, right? Omnipotent. Right? Where a piece of me is, all of me is. I am everywhere all at once. Right? This is the source within you. Okay? You are not the story that you were told. You are the one who dreamt the story. You are not the story that you've been told. Someone told you the story, you embodied it, you believed it, you dreamed it, and now you're living it. Right? Common example. You get your heart broke. Somebody tells you men ain't shit, women ain't shit. You are not the story you were told. Now you embody it, you believe it. And now this is the reality that you live. Okay? You have delusioned yourself into your reality. You are the cause and the effect. You are the dreamer, right? Within the dream. Everything is you, right? In your story, you are what? You are the author, okay? You are the publisher. You get final approval on if you want to believe it or not. If you don't like something, you are the editor, okay? You're also the reader, observing it. And guess what? You're the main character as well. You give the script to everybody in your life. You give them the script. They are who they are because of you. All right? The world is not outside of you. It is projected from within. Everything you see is shaped by who you believe yourself to be. The eyes do not see. You don't see with your eyes. Okay? The mind does. And the mind doesn't just see, it creates. Reality is not about what you see, it's about who you are. Two people can be in the exact same room, see the exact same shit, have two different perspectives of reality. One sees nothing but beauty, One can't stop arguing about the service there. One lives in a reality of beauty. The other one, their reality sucks. I don't want to go though. You could have a twin brother. You could have a twin sister. If one of you believed that the opposite gender was no good, they all cheat, they all lie, they all take advantage, and you believe, bro, these women can't get enough of me, y'all would have two completely different realities. Y'all could go to the same places. Y'all could be roommates. You could dress the same, go to the same places, talk to the same people. But you would experience reality completely different because you have two different stories. Reality is not about reality. Everything out there is meaningless. You are the consciousness that gives it meaning, that breathes life into everything. All right? Luke 17:21, the kingdom of God is within you. All right, now, one of my favorite Neville quotes, the world is all appearance, and your belief in it gives it its power. The world is all appearance. What does that mean, appearance? Appearance is meaningless. Appearance is nothing. Appearance is just substance, okay? It means nothing. Your belief in it gives it its power. All right, so what you call the world is not reality in the ultimate sense. It is appearance. What you call the world, what you see when you wake up in the morning and before you brush your teeth, you open your eyes, you start scrolling on Instagram, and you go look out the window. What you see is just appearance. It is a moving image, a reflection cast from the inner realm of consciousness. It is not fixed. It is not permanent, and it is not independent from you. And guess what? If it is not fixed and not permanent, anything that changes is not real. Anything that changes is not real. Your body, not real. Your emotions, not real. Your thoughts aren't even real. This world that you see outside of you, it changes in every second. Even a plant changes. You look at it, it is growing so slow that it's below your consciousness. But it's never the same in every moment. The only thing in this life that does not change, that is real, is I am. It's I am. It is your consciousness. It is the awareness behind everything, right? It is your soul. It is the Most High. This is the only part of you, right? This is why when the Most High showed up to Moses, right, at the burning bush, and the burning bush was lit on fire, the burning bush wasn't touched. That's one of the things that caused Moses to be like, whoa, what's going on, right? The bush wasn't touched by the fire. The same way that your I am is not touched by circumstances. It's not touched by your thoughts, by your feelings. It's simply touched by the story that you're giving, by what you declare it to be. Right? You have to remember, reality is done. Think of the Most High in your life, source in your life, the God within you has created everything already. Every reality that you can think of, every opportunity that you could think of, every situation, good, bad, whatever you want, happy, sad, all that, it's already done. Now what directs you down the path that's already created is you. You are the force behind infinite intelligence. You are the operant's power behind infinite consciousness. Think about that. You are just the operant power. You are the one, right, in this unlimited reality, in this infinite reality. You are the one operating the power, deciding moment by moment the story you want to tell, the step you want to take. I want to take a step forward. I want to go over there. I want to put on this mask. And the same way that it's all done, every single version of you is already done as well. It's already created within you. Every perspective that you could ever have is already within you. All right? Every version of you already exists within you. You could never be anything less than whole. You believe you have to work to become whole. You already are. Just the fact that you think you have to work to become whole is the admission that you don't believe you're whole. Just the fact that you think you have to work to be worthy is the admission that you think you're not worthy. Just the fact that you think you have to work to be loved admits to the fact you don't believe that you're loved, right? Because this is how the world tricks you and programs you. You've been taught to work for everything your whole life. You have to work for your parents' approval, work for the school's approval to give you a grade, work for the job's approval. Y'all go find spouses and they work for your approval. Then you pop out kids and you ask them, am I a good parent? You work for everybody's approval, even the church. You got to tithe to get their approval. You got to get baptized to get their approval. Then you come into this space thinking, oh, I have to be worthy to get what I want. Not realizing that if you are source, How could you be anything less than worthy? Thinking that you have to work to be worthy is an extreme contradiction. This is what keeps you away from your power. But the moment that you realize that you are all versions of you wrapped up, walking through all versions of reality, the only thing that you have to do is change your perspective. In my Father's house are many mansions. Many mansions, many dimensions are in my Father's house. What is the Father's house? It's not the church out there. That's why Jesus said, if you think heaven is in the sky, you'll think the birds are closer to you, are closer than you. Right? It's not the church. You are the temple. You are the house. You are the house of your Father. Right? The ground that you are standing on right now, where you're sitting, the car you're driving in, the bed you're laying in, this is holy ground because you are there. Do you understand that every word that you speak comes from the temple? So it's not good enough just to watch your mouth when you go stand in some human-built church. You should be watching every word because you are the true temple. Every time you go into your imagination, you are communing with Source in the temple. Everything that comes from your mouth, from your mind, is coming from the temple. Do you understand the amount of reverence that you should have for your words, for who you are? Okay? In your Father's house are many mansions, are many perspectives, are every single dimension that you could ever think of, ever be. All right? So it's not that you have to work or strive to become a new version of yourself, to take on a new perspective. You have the keys. You're already in the Father's house. You can switch the mansion whenever you want. All right? Drop the illusion of work. The ego will always tell you that there's some work to do, right? The ego will always say, well, I just don't feel like Source yet. Maybe when I work a little bit harder. That's a lie. You're the operant power. You're the one who says, no, I am worthy no matter what because Source is within me no matter what. What if you don't feel worthy? You are. What if you don't feel love? You are. You could be nothing less. What if you don't feel whole? You are every version of yourself right now, wrapped in one, looking out of one perspective. You could never be anything less than whole. Now, where does this illusion also come from? Because if you can only experience one perspective at a time, because you understand that reality is only what? 0.001% matter? You can only experience reality 0.001% at a time. Think about that. So physics will tell us that an atom is 99.9999% energy, empty space. You can't see this, right? This is the form around you that's collapsing. So your body, you only see 0.0001% of it. This room, you only see a fraction of it. You can only experience life this small piece at a time. So if I can only experience that much of me, of course there's going to be an illusion of lack, an illusion of not being whole. All right? Sometimes we can conjure up the feeling of being whole, but that's an illusion in itself. There is no feeling of being whole. Wholeness is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Worthiness is not a feeling. You can't keep a feeling for the rest of your life, but you are that no matter what, right? If somebody gives you bad news, you're going to feel bad. Does that make you less worthy or less whole or less love or less perfection or less divinity or less prosperity? You are infinite prosperity, infinite abundance, infinite wholeness, infinite worthiness. You can't be anything less. It is you. It is us, right? When we are living in this world of programming who think, okay, feeling is the secret. This structure, this society that needs you to stay trapped so a few at the top can function and get everything that they need, you think they would just give you the tools freely to free your mind? Oh, it's just your feelings. The hardest way to create, right? The hardest way to create is pure action. The next is off your feeling, right? The next is trying to control your thoughts. The best way to create is knowing who you are. I am Source. I am that I am. I am that I am no matter what. And that is enough because that is all that there is. Right? I am me and everything is drawn to me beautifully, divinely, perfectly. Because the Source within me could be nothing but perfect. I am Source. I am that I am. Okay? So Transcend the emotions and the feelings. Allow yourself to feel them, but do not allow them to tell a story, to change your story. You are the storyteller. Right? Your feelings just add a little bit of color and flavor to your life. There's something to be experienced. There's something to teach you a little bit about yourself, but they don't dictate the story. Other people don't dictate the story. The circumstances don't dictate the story. You dictate the story. You are the operant power. Okay? So this is why. Okay, here we go. This is why transformation doesn't begin by fixing the world, but by reclaiming your belief. The same outer conditions, here we go. The same outer conditions that imprison one man can inspire another. Reality is not about what you see, it's about who you are. The same conditions that can imprison one man, that can knock somebody off their pivot, right? They can cause somebody to cry, can be the same thing that wakes somebody up. Says, oh, no, I'm not dealing with this shit no more, right? Be that one. Be the one who uses every single circumstance to step into a greater version of themselves, right? The difference is not in what's happening, but in what is believed about it. Belief is the projector. Belief is the sculptor. And when you withdraw belief from what limits you and reinvest it into what liberates you, the illusion starts to bend. Start asking yourself, for real, like when you don't feel good, start asking yourself, what would I have to believe to be true to think like this, to feel like this right now? If that belief is not aligned with how I want to live my life, why the hell am I holding on to it? Drop it like a garment, like clothes, right? You change your beliefs, you change your thoughts like you change your clothes. You can do it like this in this moment. Forget the illusion of reprogramming the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind accepts everything. There is not some part of you trying to punish you, trying to keep you from getting the things that you want. This is an illusion. This is just a limiting belief. This is just a limiting belief. Well, if we tell them to reprogram the subconscious mind, they're going to be out here thinking that in some future, one day, some part of me is just going to click and say, okay, finally, now we're going to give you what you want. No. Everything says, right? Ask and you shall receive. It don't say reprogram and you shall receive. Ask and you shall be received. And you shall receive. All right? So the difference is not in what's happening, but in what is believed about it. Belief is the projector. Belief is the sculptor. And when you withdraw belief from what limits you and reinvest it into what liberates you, the illusion starts to bend. The world isn't your master, it is your mirror. And when you believe that, when you truly just get that spiritual backbone, that spine, when you drop your nuts and you start looking at reality and say, oh, whoa, nothing's testing me. Nothing's condemning me. This is the story of Job that we talked about, right? Job's story is not a story of some man talking to a whole bunch of people. It's a story of spiritual awakening. Every single aspect of that story represents a different aspect of your consciousness. Job represents every single one of us waking up, having the battle with his three friends, which represent three distinct parts of his consciousness, his marriage to his wife, telling him curse God and just die. It represents us giving up hope, looking at the 3D reality that we are married to. You're married to the third dimensional reality, just like Job's married to his wife. And it represents the ultimate giving up, saying, man, forget this shit. Forget this. I'm going to go back to the lack. And then Job talked to his other friend, representing his higher self. He finally went in to pray. And it was at this moment that the Most High actually gave him clarity. Even Satan in the story doesn't represent some devil with horns chasing you around, punishing people for eternity. It represents the illusions. Satan is known as the accuser, right? The deceiver. Those false thoughts in your mind, the fears in your mind, the anxiety in your mind, right? The illusions that you have to transcend. How do you go to battle with Satan? You transcend them. You transcend him. Those thoughts of fear, doubt. Even Jesus in the wilderness, right? When Satan, representing his doubts, came to him at the mountain and said, look, you are the Son of God. Throw yourself off of the cliff, surely, and the angels will catch your ass. And Jesus said, no, I don't test. You don't test the Father. What did Satan represent? Think about this in a metaphysical way. Jesus represented your I am awareness, your higher self, your spiritual big brother saying, be like me. Be like me. Because you are divine like me. Those after me will do works greater than I do, right? What this represented is you've been praying for prosperity. You've been praying for prosperity. And then Satan, those doubts come in your mind and say, bro, we've been praying for prosperity. Surely, if I take all my savings out and I put it on this parlay, SGA plus 35 points, Halliburton triple double, right? I'm going to put it on them. And God has to provide for me because I've been praying for prosperity. This is testing the Most High right here. This is the test, right? Because the thoughts of doubt, when you should already know that if I declare it, if I decree that I have it, if I have that desire, I grant it to myself right now, I have it. Now, it doesn't matter how I get it. I simply walk and allow it to unfold in my life. But when those thoughts of doubt come in, we start looking at the external world saying, when is it going to come? When is it going to show up? Maybe God wants me to do this. You're trying to test, right? God has weapons you don't know of, ways that you don't understand, right? You and your Father are one, but your Father does the work. Your job is simply to know you already have it. Simply to know you already have it. Don't go trying to gamble your money away on game 7 on Sunday, all right? So when you withdraw belief from what limits you and reinvest it into what liberates you, the illusion starts to bend. Okay, you stop being a servant of circumstance and become what you were all along, a creator cloaked in human form, right? You are a God. You just happen to be walking around in a human skin right now. That's it, right? But you are divine. You are pure divinity. You are pure source. As within, so without, as above, so below, right? A quote from Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth, also known as the Greek god Mercury, also known as Enoch. If you're familiar with the book of Enoch, all right? You've been told reality is objective, solid, external. But in truth, it is liquid, lucid, and mirrors your inner world. You are not walking through reality. Reality is unfolding through you. The tree only appears as tree because of the one perceiving it. The name, the meaning, the separation, it is all projection. In the mind of God, there is only oneness, dancing in form. All right? So if your consciousness is what creates the world, if a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, no one's around to see it, does it make a sound? If you answer before me, I'll give you $100. No, it doesn't make a sound. Damn, y'all too slow, right? It does not make a sound because it's your consciousness that gives meaning to everything. All right, so identity is the dream, awareness is the dreamer. You have been wearing identities like costumes passed down through lineage, culture, and fear, right? Who told you that you are who you are, right? We've been programmed by our parents. Do this, this is what makes you a good person. The school, do this makes you a good student, right? The job, do this is what makes you a good worker. Social media, do this is what makes you a good man, good woman, okay? You've been told you are a body, a name, a personality, a role. But who were you before you had a name? Who are you when the thoughts go silent? Where do you go when you go to sleep? Okay. John 8:58. Before Abraham was, I am. What does this mean? Before Abraham was, I am. Right? I am the law of Moses. Right? What was Jesus talking about? This is not just Jesus speaking of age or ancestry. It is eternity speaking through a moment in time. All right, let's break this down. Before Abraham was means, right? Because we have to think about what Abraham actually represents in the Bible. Keep in mind, all these characters are aspects of you. You play all the roles of every character in this Bible. You play every role, every single one. Okay? So before Abraham was means before form, before lineage, and before story. So Abraham is known in the Bible as the patriarch, basically, right? He represents history, tradition, and the timeline of human becoming, right? It started with Abraham, okay? But I am is not a name tied to time. It is being itself. So pure, unconditioned awareness. Jesus is not claiming seniority, right? You're not saying like, oh, I've been here since the beginning before Abraham, right? Not in a human form. He is talking about what he represents, your I am awareness, right? Your I am awareness, your Christ consciousness, the understanding of who you are, okay? It is being itself. I am is not a name tied to time. It's not tied to time. It's not impacted by emotions or feelings or thoughts or time. It transcends all of that. It is being itself, pure unconditioned awareness. Okay? The Christ voice is here declaring, I am not bound to history. I am not a result of the past. I am the eternal presence that precedes and sustains all things. It is the divine self beyond all roles, remembering its nature in the midst of form. All right? You're going to digest that in a second. Okay? I am the eternal presence that precedes and sustains all things. It is the divine self. It is beyond all roles. The I am within you. Your I am is beyond your role in society, your job. It's beyond your bank account. It's beyond whether you're a mother. It's beyond your feelings. It's beyond your circumstances. I am is the truth. Everything around you is the illusion. All right? You speak the truth into whatever. The situation can look like whatever. What really is it? Whatever you declare it to be. Whatever your I am decides it to be. Because keep in mind, verily, verily, I say unto thee, whatever you ask in the Father's name will be given to you. The Father's name being I am that I am, right? Anytime you declare yourself to be anything, I am prosperity, I am this, I am that, whatever you say you are using God's name. Anytime you declare yourself to be anything. Now, the kingdom of God is within you. What is the kingdom of God? Everything. That woman that you're talking to, that's the kingdom. The goddess that broke your heart, the king that broke your heart, okay? Your parents, the external circumstance, the bank account, it's all the kingdom and it's all from within you. So it's not that you're saying they are, you're always saying I am. So whatever you ask in the Father's name will be given to you. So anytime you declare yourself to be anything, consciously or unconsciously, right? If you say these men ain't shit, what are you saying? Truly, you're saying, I am a person who only gets men that ain't shit. You're declaring yourself to be something. It's all a prayer. Everything that you call anybody, anything is a prayer. Anything you call yourself is a prayer. You are the temple. You don't just go into the church to pray. Every time you speak, you are speaking from the temple. Okay? So I am is the eternal presence that precedes and sustains all things. Whatever you say you are, okay? So let's get back into this. Abraham is the father of nations, the one called out of the familiar into the unknown. Right? The same way that we can look at this and we can slice it in a whole bunch of different dimensions. We can talk about Abraham being a representation of your walk through life, from unconscious to conscious. We can talk about it from a soul's journey, from your soul descending from source, wrapping itself up in flesh and bone and blood and going through this life, right? We can talk about it in whatever context you want. All this represents is whatever's going on in your life. I am is before that. Whatever you think has happened, I am precedes that. I am predates that. I am transcends that. Your I am is your savior. It is the way. It is the truth, right? Just say the word. I am. Just say the word, and this will get you out of whatever situation. Your understanding that you are source, that the divine is within you, that you are I am. This gets you out of everything, okay? So Abraham equals time, tradition. What will my family think if I do this? I am transcends that. Becoming, I am transcends that, right? The I am is timelessness, presence and being. So this statement tears the veil between time and timelessness. It invites you to realize the same I am that spoke through Christ speaks through you. This is even the meaning of the crucifixion. You too, no matter how down you get, can turn your suffering into salvation. Can turn your suffering into a divine story. Can turn your loss into victory. Okay? This represents your I am awareness. Okay? So the same eternal essence that existed before Abraham, before Moses, before matter itself is the ground of your being. You are not your timeline. You are not your trauma. You are not your title. You are the eternal now wearing a name. When you say I am, you're invoking God in first person. Whenever you say I am is the name of God. You are invoking God in first person. I don't care if you believe that you're God or not. When you say I am, and you declare yourself to be anything, You are speaking God's name through you. Point blank, period. All right? And when you awaken to this truth, you no longer live as a product of the past. You live as a portal of the present. It doesn't matter what happened 5 minutes ago. All right? Whatever you ask in the Father's name will be given to you. Hitherto, you've asked for nothing. Until now, you've asked for nothing. This doesn't mean, but God, I've been asking for five years. I've been asking for 5 weeks and I ain't saying shit. It means it doesn't matter what you've done before that. Before then, the only thing that matters is now, because the only moment is now. It doesn't matter what you've been doing for the last 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 weeks, 5 days. It only matters what you're doing right now, okay? You are not a descendant of man, but a revelation of the divine, okay? You are the I am behind the mask of becoming, the awareness that never sleeps even when the mind does. You are the seer and not the seen. The stillness that watches the movie of life flicker across the screen of time. All right, so think about it like this. The ego is the actor. The soul is the witness. And the divine is the author of the whole play. So how many roles in your life are you playing? If you have these 3 divine roles, the ego being the actor, right? Don't get lost in the script. Don't get lost in the role. Remember, you can switch roles at any time. The ego tends to get lost in the role. The soul is the witness. It's just watching, observing. And the divine is the author, the I am, the one who declares, the one who decrees. Okay? How many roles are you playing? Play all of them. Play all of them. You came down for nothing less. Okay? You are the Word made flesh, remembering its sound. In the beginning was not matter, but vibration, the word, the logos, the divine frequency. Okay, so John 1:1 and then 1:14. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then the Word became incarnate. Incarnate means Word become flesh, just like your divine as incarnated. And the Word became flesh. All right, God sleeps in the rock. This is a Hindu proverb right here. I actually like this proverb, snuck it in here. God sleeps in the rock, dreams in the plant, stirs in the animal, and awakens in man. So let's break that down. All right, so this proverb is a cosmic map of divine evolution. So don't think of these things as separate entities. Think of these things in the divinity of what they really are. They're all the kingdom. They're all from within you. All right, you are just as much the rock as you are your eggs. You are just as much the tree as you are your mother. They are all you, okay? So this proverb is a cosmic map of divine evolution. It speaks to the sacred hidden in all forms, not as metaphor, but as literal presence. So in the rock, okay, in the rock, God is still, silent, unmoving, but present. The divine rests there in pure being, untouched by thoughts or emotion. Okay, I like that, I like that. In the plant, the same presence begins to dream. It reaches, grows, leans toward light. Okay? Life begins to stir with direction, desire, and movement. That's the plant. Next is the animal, all right? We're going to look at these levels of consciousness. In the animal, that divine essence stirs. It becomes aware, driven by instinct, sensation, and survival. This is where a lot of us get trapped, is in that animal stage, right? But it is in man, in the awakened human consciousness, that God fully remembers itself. Self-awareness emerges. Reflection begins. Self-awareness and reflection. What is self-awareness? It's consciousness, right? You are consciousness. And what is the job of consciousness? The job of consciousness is to be conscious. Now, what are you conscious of? The unconscious is conscious of everything outside of himself. Now, what is the difference between the unconscious and the conscious? The conscious represents or realizes that everything is a byproduct of them. The kingdom is within them. So there's only myself to be conscious of. You can call it selfish, but it's who am I being that dictates what reality is doing. So to be conscious is to be conscious of oneself, all right? So the awakened human consciousness that God fully remembers itself. Self-awareness emerges. Reflection begins. The I am wakes up within flesh and asks, what am I? Who am I? Where did I come from? So this isn't a hierarchy of value. It is a progression of divine remembrance. Everything is God in disguise. Okay? That's why you can learn so much from everything, right? Just by looking at different forms of life in this world, you can see different levels of consciousness. Isn't that divine? It's as if Source was like, look, I really want to wake up. Let me put clues everywhere. Let me put clues in everywhere. If you want to learn about everything, learn about anything. Everything is a representation of everything, okay? So this isn't a hierarchy of value. It's a progression of divine remembrance. Everything is God in disguise, but only in human awareness does the disguise begin to unravel. In man, God looks in the mirror, not because the divine was ever missing, but because it chose to forget itself in order to experience the joy of remembrance. You are not just evolving, you are being recollected. You are the divine becoming conscious of its own presence. God descended into matter to experience itself, to learn that it was the creator. What's another way of saying this? Your ass came down here to experience itself as the creator. The same thing. Any, meaning, no matter how you slice it, it's all the same, right? You are within God, God is within you. And when you fully awaken, you don't just see God, you know you are God, looking out through human eyes, not as ego, but as essence, and not to dominate, but to illuminate. You are the secret, you are the answer, you are the living scripture. You are the cause, you are the effect, you are the author, the reader, the writer, the editor, the publisher, the main character, the side character. You are every single thing wrapped in one. You are all that there is, okay? You are the word encoded in flesh, the sound of heaven echoing through blood and breath. You are not separate from the divine intention. You are the divine intention. And your very being is a scripture written in living motion. Okay, that was a bar. And your very being is a scripture written in living motion. Every time you speak truth, every time you choose love over fear, every time you forgive, you echo the original sound, okay? So the power of waking up, you become the creator. To awaken is to realize that the dream is malleable. To see yourself as not the pawn, but the player. Not the one seeking God, but the one through whom God seeks expression. You're not down here to seek God. You're down here to experience yourself, to express yourself as a divine, to allow that God within you to express itself through you. All right? I have said you are gods and all of you are children of the Most High. Psalm 82:6. All right. He who looks outside, Carl Jung. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. When you realize you are dreaming, you stop running, you start choosing. You don't beg life to change, you command it with alignment. You don't wait for signs, you become the sign. We no longer look out there and wait for things to change. We simply know that things have changed. I just can't see them. Everything is always changing because I've changed. Whether I see it or not is irrelevant. Okay? You don't chase the future, you collapse time with embodiment. This is what those, manifesting coaches say when they say, there's always movement. There's always movement, right? Like I had a client that was like, he had this woman that he really wanted to talk to. And he said, I always notice her, but she never noticed me. I said, whoa, you're telling the wrong story. She has been noticing you. You just haven't noticed her noticing you. See how a simple switch in the story changed everything. And then what did she tell him? She said, hey, I noticed, I know that we've been noticing each other, or something along those lines later on, right? Just from switching that story, all of a sudden, boom, things change. You are the author, all right? You don't ask, what should I do? You declare, this is who I am, right? The wrong question is, what do I have to be? What do I have to embody? What frequency do I have to get on? Frequency? What you mean? What you talking about? What frequency? Please tell me more. right? About this mysterious frequency. It's who do I have to become is the wrong question. What do I need to remember that I already am? This is the right question. I have a desire. That desire is reminding me of who I truly am. In my Father's house are many mansions. I am the Father's house. The mansions are the different dimensions within me. Every dimension is a different perspective. Every perspective is a different dimension. I simply change perspectives like I change clothes. I change perspective from someone in lack to someone who now lives in divine abundance. And I realize and I know without a shadow of a doubt that the source within me is infinite abundance. I've been remembering myself incorrectly. I thought that my bank account was showing me that I was not abundant, but I was remembering myself wrong. That was simply the external world reflecting something within me. I thought the external world was supposed to show me something, forgetting that infinite abundance has been within me this whole time. I've just been remembering myself wrong. I could never be anything less than infinitely abundant, right? I thought that my parents and the exes were supposed to show love, right? This is what you thought. So you felt unloved by them, unseen by them, forgetting that because source is within you, you could be nothing less than infinitely loved, infinitely seen. You've been remembering yourself incorrectly. The moment that you start remembering yourself correctly, the game changes. There is nothing to strive for. Your wholeness is not down the street after some shadow work, right? You do that just for you, but you understand that you are divine and whole in love no matter what. Do you feel whole, loved, perfect? No, it doesn't matter. You still are. You simply have to say the word, and I shall be healed. Okay? So, in conclusion, you are the dreamer, the light, and the return. It's been a long week. I feel like I've been talking a lot today, especially. Are we going to end this one strong? No. You are not waking up to become something new. You are waking up to become something ancient, something eternal, something true. The return is not a destination. It is the moment you stop pretending to be less than God in form. Let me read that one more time. I really want this to be absorbed, okay? Your return to who you truly are is not a destination. What do I mean by destination? It's not something that we work and strive to. You don't chase. And any time that you say something is in the future, means you're chasing, means you're creating a scenario where you have to walk through time to chase some future version of yourself. You are that version right now. That version of you is within you right now. I hope that I'm saying this extremely clearly. You don't have to work to be anything different. You simply have to know that you are different right now. You simply have to know. You are the author. You are the one who tells the story. Okay? You are the perfection. You are source. You are the author. Okay? It is all about you. Okay? So the next time that you're sitting and you feel good and you know that you are source, you know it, and you know that right now you are abundance, and you know that your reality is unfolding to provide you abundance, and you feel good for a day, and then 2 days later, you feel down, and you think, man, no, I appreciate you. I got you. And the next couple of days, you sit down and you say, man, dang, I don't feel worthy anymore. Maybe, what do I have to do for this to really sink in? What do I have to do to really feel this? I want you to know that in that moment, you are just as worthy as you were the days before. Whether you feel good or not, you are just as worthy. Okay? And all you have to do is tell yourself that. I am worthy no matter what. This is why adding that no matter what to the end of your affirmations, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Okay? You are worthy and divine and love and source no matter what. Okay? The return is not a destination. Your worthiness is not a destination. Your healing is not a destination. Your wholeness is not a destination. It is right now. You simply have to say it. Okay? It is the moment you stop pretending to be less than God in form. Anytime that you're acting like you're not worthy, you're just pretending. You're too caught up in your ego. You think your feelings are real, right? Sure, they're real to you. They're real to your ego. There's something to be experienced, but they don't allow them to tell an incorrect story. Don't allow them to lie to you. All right? Stop pretending to be less than God in form. You could never be less. It doesn't matter if you want to be source or not. You are. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. You are. It does not matter. Okay? So today, drop the illusion, not with fear, but with reverence, and say with full authority, I am the light behind the eyes, the awareness within the dream, the voice of the word made flesh. I am waking up, not into something better. I am not waking up into something better, but into who I have always been. There's nothing to strive for. Simply know, simply be still and know that I am source. I am God. Okay? This is the challenge. This is the challenge. How conscious can you be? Can you be conscious when you feel good and when you feel down? Can you be conscious and know that you're worthy when you feel worthy and when you don't feel worthy? Can you tell the same story no matter how you feel? This is when you become who you want to become. This is when you become who you're destined to become. This is when you take control of the game. When you look at those circumstances that hurt you in the face and you tell a different story. I only see 0.001% of reality. The situation doesn't look ideal, but the God within me is perfect, so the situation must be perfect. The God within me is perfect, so the situation must be perfect. It must be unfolding perfect. Whatever situation that you're in right now, and whatever situation you dream of being in, to get to that place, reality has to change. Your job is not to judge how it changed. Your job is simply to know that it's changing to what you want. And sometimes for it to move quickly, rapidly, sometimes it's going to look a little bit backwards. But you only see 0.001% of reality. So who are you to judge what is good and what is bad? Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. What does this mean? Whatever you say it is what it is. So if it looks like shit, and you say, man, this is unfolding perfectly because the God within me is perfect, guess what? Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. It's exactly what you say it is. Just say the word. Just say the word. No longer allow the circumstances to dictate your story. Do not allow the feelings to dictate your story. This is even what Dr. Joe Dispenza, when he says you have to be bigger than your circumstances, this is what it means. You have to be bigger than your circumstances. You no longer can make false idols. You no longer can say, I am source, I am divine, everything's working out for me, and then walk through life and allow a feeling or an emotion or something that you see outside of you change your story. If you have to feel sad, feel sad. You don't run from anything, you're divine. If you have to cry, cry. But you tell the story of who you are. I am divine. It's all working out for me perfectly. Okay? You don't run from your emotions. You embrace your emotions. You use them as tools. There's just energy. There is literally only one emotion. An emotion is energy in motion. There is only one energy. That energy is source. That source energy flows through you. But we all have an ego. And our ego creates stories so we can experience life. And when that one universal energy of the divine is flowing through you, if you have a story that's in alignment with the divine, everything is going to work out perfectly. You feel good because that energy is then translated through your ego as positivity. You feel happy. But if you have a story that's not in alignment, I don't know if this is going to work out. That energy, that one energy of source, is now filtered through your ego into a quote unquote negative energy. But guess what? It's the same energy. It is the same energy. So just use your emotions as tools. What do I have to believe right now to feel this way? And I can change my beliefs in the moment. Doesn't mean I'm going to automatically just feel better. But now I'm in control of the story. I'm the conscious creator. The moment that we stop trying to treat our emotions like good and bad guys, that we stop judging them, all right? Or at least pull back on the judgment, because that's a human thing. I want you to really think about judgment. This is a human construct. This is an ego construct. We sit around and judge people all day. We judge people in different religions than us. We sit and judge people that make mistakes. God forbid anybody saw our mistakes. We judge politicians. We judge religious people. We judge everybody. Oh shit, the puzzle piece. Yeah, we judge all the time. This is human nature. Right? The God within you doesn't judge. There's nothing to be forgiven for because Source doesn't judge. This is infinite love. This is the same infinite love that keeps your heart beating even when you don't think about it. That keeps you breathing even when you don't think about it. That loves you so much, it takes care of all these things for you by itself. This is the same infinite consciousness that whether you believe in it or not, whether you declare yourself to be Source or not, whether you pray or not, whether you consider yourself to be a religious or not, or whatever the case may be, still gives you whatever you think, unconditionally, is the perfect reflection of you. The ultimate unconditional love. Right? The ultimate unconditional love. Stop believing that you're unworthy, or that you have something to work for, or strive for, or that your wholeness or healing is in the future. You're already whole. You could be nothing more than whole. Nothing less than whole, my bad. You could be nothing less than whole. Even the story of lack. If right now you are every perspective wrapped into one, if every version of you is within you right now, but you can only see from one perspective, if you can only see from one perspective, which is really just 0.001% of who you really are, okay? Of course you're gonna feel lack, because you're only seeing a fraction of who you really are. So of course you're gonna feel lack. This is normal. But you also have to look at it like this. Just the fact that you even feel lack means you could be nothing less than absolutely perfect. This is the paradox. And I really hope that one made sense. Because when that clicked for me, that clicked for me. I am every version of myself right now wrapped into one. I'm just looking from the wholeness of who I am just through one small perspective, so I can experience this solid reality, right? If reality is only 0.001% matter, and the rest of it is energy and information, then I have to descend into 0.0001% matter as well to experience life. So I can only see from that small perspective at once. So because I'm not experiencing life from the fullness of who I am at every single moment, I'm going to naturally feel lack. So instead of me thinking that that lack means I'm not whole, I simply know that if I feel lack, that means that I could be nothing but whole. I couldn't even feel lack if I wasn't whole. Lack would be normal. Hopefully that made sense. It made sense to me. Right? I thought that was a game changer. Okay. But in conclusion, y'all, the point that I really want to make is that you are everything that you want to be, no matter what. No matter what. Right? No matter what. So let's end with some affirmations. And I'll let y'all go have a divine Friday. If y'all can find me at the bar tonight or tomorrow, drinks on me. I'm just playing. But all right. I see you all as divine, as perfect, as beautiful, as whole, as worthy, as in alignment with everything that you want. Everything that you want. Okay? You are perfect just the way that you are. And everything that you desire, you already have. It is all unfolding from within you. The only thing that you have to do is be still and know that I am God. Just take a deep breath. Enjoy every moment. Right? And know that no matter what you feel, when you feel up, you are worthy. When you feel down, you are worthy. When you feel worthy, you are worthy. When you feel unworthy, you are worthy. When you feel love, you are loved. When you feel unloved, you are still just as loved, just as much. Okay? Remember who you are. Okay? Remember who you are. Stop pretending to be anything less than God. All right, y'all have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. If y'all go out, be safe. And until next time, I appreciate y'all as always, man. Much love, much love. Later.